Hey, what's up, guys? I've been asked how big my Yu-Gi-Oh collection is, and it's quite big. So I'll kind of show some of it off today. All the cards I collected over a couple of years now, and I used to have a lot more cards, honestly. But I've gotten rid of my collection, I think, like twice or three times. So it's shrunk and gone big, and shrunk and gone big. Um, Back then, every time I sold my collection, I thought I was gonna quit the game for good. So a lot of my really old vintage cards I don't have anymore, and so those have been gone for a while, and they've gone up in value over the years. But hindsight 2020. So this is my current modern day collection that I don't think I'll be getting rid of anytime soon. At least I don't think so. If I ever need money, I guess I would sell them off. But um, yeah. So I'll kind of start off with my big blue binder here. It's the Dex Protector binder. Most of my valuable cards are in this binder, so I'm sure if you've watched my other videos, you've already seen this binder. Yeah, I'm adding more stuff to it and taking up some stuff out, kind of moving stuff around. So I'm not gonna really go through the binder. So that's just what's kind of in it. If you want to watch my other video, you'll see most of the expensive stuff in there. Here I have my quote-unquote cheap binder. It's just basically stuff that I deem somewhat not really valuable but usable, that I play in most of my decks that I didn't have room to put in my big blue binder. So it's just stuff that I currently kind of have that I'm not really using. So let me try to show off this one real quick, and give you. I did add some stuff to the binder, so let me try to zoom out a little bit here. So yeah, for the most part, it's been kind of the same. Um, got my usable cards that are not like high value, but they are played and used, and hopefully the glare is not too bad here. Um, yeah, nothing too noteworthy. So I have a lot of blue eye stuff I put in here. Got some of the new blue eye stuff that I haven't quite got a chance to use. The Ultimate Fusion's up here, brand new stuff. I did update my Blue Eyes deck, and I'll show that off a little bit later when waiting for a couple more cards to come in the mail before I do that. Hopefully the glare is not too bad, but anyways, got like full sets of Magnite stuff here. Some extra danger stuff, some incantation hollows, some more ritual hollow. Got a bunch of Necros. Nothing too expensive. None of these Necros cards are the secret rare ones. I could have bought those, but I decided to just go with the reprint Ultra. So some of my Judge tokens and stuff like that. Some other tokens I have. Some more tokens. Some magic stuff. Magic stuff in here. Some extra fusion stuff I got. Mostly Invoke extra fusion. Some Shadow stuff up here. Some other just generic good fusion down there. Some Link stuff for my Dragon Link decks. That I kind of broke it apart, so now I'm just having it sit in the binder here. Some extra Dragon Link stuff here. These are secret Thunder Kings from, I think, what call it, the manga back then that they used to come out. Yeah, I had these for a long time. I think they're quite valuable now, but I didn't have room in my other binders, so I kind of just left them here. Some Fire Ice Hands. I used to play Hat. I used to play Hat without the artifacts. So I used to play Trap Tricks, Thunderbird, and and the hands back then, like a stun deck. But I didn't have artifacts back then because they were expensive back then. But now they're not too expensive. Well, speaking of which, I do have my artifact stuff over here. A couple morale attacks. I can't find where my German morale attack is. I used to have one German morale attack. I think I might have traded it off or something, but yeah, I can't find my German morale attack. But I have some artifact sanctums up here, some ignition, and I think that's basically it for this binder thing. Yeah, not too much else here. So let me go ahead and show you off the rest of my stuff I have, like in boxes, I guess, that I don't quite use, but are still good. So I keep them in these boxes. I have a 5K box, but it's kind of filled with like deck boxes and stuff. But these were kind of nice. Back then they were kind of like the most popular thing back then to get, or these kind of deck boxes where it's got like two folds and you can slide in and out the deck box. But these are years old. I don't think they even make these anymore. But I used to go to like Frankenson and pick some of these up and had multiple decks. But nowadays I just kind of relegate them to storing my extra cards. So like each one's kind of labeled, I guess. So like for me, I use the orange one to keep most like normal effect monsters in here that I'm not using, and sometimes I just throw extra stuff if I have um, stuff in there. So let me kind of just breeze through. I'm not gonna really talk about anything too much, but if you just enjoy watching card collections, and well, here you go. These cards I got from a judge pack. They're really bent. They're like magic cards. They're like toggles. Like I don't know what happened to these, but um, yeah, these cards are from my judge packs recently, and yeah, they just are warped. Granted, I did leave them out, and I guess it's been kind of hot and humid, and so they kind of warped themselves into these really warpy cards. But some gold cards I got from the gold series. Some flying seas here. Some stuff I used to use. Don't use. Oh, I remember these cards. These were the stuff back then. Summoner Monk, love that card. Um, some old Blackwing stuff I used to play with. There's some extra stuff here. Nothing super duper valuable, I would think. Let me grab the other side. Yeah, I have a lot of cards, and yeah, most of them are kind of bulk, I guess. Um, but some of it sees play, some of it doesn't see play anymore. I have Nebula Dragon from a Blue Eyes deck, some Gamma Seal, uh, extra Wyverns, some Valk. These were hot back then. I think we went to like a place and cleaned them out for like a quarter each, and we sold them for $1 each. These Heroic Challenger. If anyone played during this format would know, and these were the cool kids card back then. Some extra Valkyrie stuff. I don't know why I have those. Skullmeisters. Actually, these should be pretty handy. I should put them somewhere else. I should put them in my other binder. Let me take them out. I want to put them in my hand trap binder. Stuff that might be used. Some Dark Greffers, some Aphorage, some extra Blackwing stuff here, and some Time Lord stuff. Yep, so that's it for that's it for kind of like the box one with all my monster effects stuff that I find useful. I have a bunch of other common cards. So most of these are hollow or at least useful commons, but I do have a box of like 5K common cards that are kind of just bulk and kind of useless that I should probably throw away, but haven't got a chance to actually toss them out yet. Here's this black box here. I keep most of the extra deck stuff that I'm not using in here, so you'll see a bunch of like extra deck links and stuff like that that I have that I'm not really using. I don't think anything's super noticeable in here. I'll stop if I find something cool. Okay, this was kind of a cool card. Got from a Japanese Showing Jump magazine. The old art of the what's his face? I forgot his name. Firewall, I think. Yeah, Firewall. Dragon. This is banned. This is banned. This is banned. So all three of these are banned now. Rip. Akuma. Some cross sheep stuff. So reprint of these. These were pretty hot. I had secret rares, but I sold them for I think $30-40 when they were hot. Then they got reprinted, so whatever's. Link Karibo. I have a misprint spider link monster. The Eye of Anubis is in the corner, which is kind of funny. I think I have another. This card's stuck back here. Oh, just a DT or Shattered Foil Link Spider there. Proxy Dragons here. Some Sky Striker stuff. Some stuff from the extra deck here. Some older, used to be valuable Armides and Caster, they don't see play anymore, unfortunately. So kind of took them out. Some Colossal Fighters, ancient stuff from the 5D era. Some more of my Blackwing stuff that I used to play back in '09, '10, I guess. Goyle Guardians. I used to have an Ultimate First Ed Goyle Guardian. I don't know what happened there. I think I sold it, so had these reprints, and um, then it got errata, and then now it's unplayable. So rip rip Goyle Guardian. I don't know why they had to errata him to only use Earth tuners and stuff. Um, but yeah, like I think he might still be able to see some play if he wasn't like errata like that. So this one's kind of stuff. Okay, here is some additional stuff. Here's I have a lot of Exceeds. I did play quite a lot during the Exceed format. I think I kind of stopped playing when Pendulums kind of came out for a bit. Got rid of my collection, and then now I'm got some totally awesomes. Tornado Dragons were used to be pricey. I think the totally might be worth something. They're probably like $20 each. It's not too bad. Phantom Knight Break Sword. I actually should put this in my Phantom Knight pile. I forgot I have a Phantom Knight deck pile thing that I was gonna make something of it, but I haven't got around to actually making anything out of it. Some sharks. Yeah, I used to have some pretty rare Exceed cards, but I think I sold most of them off. So these are just what I have left. I don't think anything's super valuable. Rip Shockmaster. This was the bomb back then. This was what was Calamity Dragon was. Calamity before Calamity was a thing, but yeah, this you get this out, you win. Or what's the other one? Rasengan? I forgot now the name. The heroic knight that you used to. If I play Constellar, I would just stack 5 monsters on him and not let your opponent play the game. You know, Stellar Knight format was fun. I sold my Stellar Knight deck. I'm kind of sad because those I had OT out the entire extra deck back then. I sold that deck a while back, and now I don't have any of the Teller Knights stuff anymore. Yeah, I had quite a few decks. Sold them and bought new stuff. Let me move some stuff over here. Let's see. I think let's show off spells next, I guess. So I have them in this pink box. Some spell cards that I'm not using right now. So I got some Red Eyes Fusion. These are the super ones. They were pretty pricey back then. My friend of them gave them to me. Now I'm using the Ultras. So it's a rarity upgrade, but these are actually kind of like the original print, and they're worth more than the Ultras are. Some from Ultra Forbidden Chalices. These are worth something now, I think. They're not first ed, unfortunately, but still kind of cool to have. Some Blackwing, some spell books. I used to have a maxed out rarity spellbook deck. It's the one deck I kind of regret selling. I had ultimate everything, ultimate spellbook of secrets. I had ultimate, yeah, just every spellbook card that could be ultimate was ultimate. And yeah, I sold that deck. Like I built a deck for fairly cheap. I built a deck for I think like under $200. I sold it for like $300-400 back then. Now the deck is worth well over like 1.5 thousand or 1.5K because everything like ultimate blue boys and secrets are like $70 now. Back then they were dirt cheap. They were like maybe $10-15. And yeah, I don't have that deck anymore, and now it's worth so much money. It's just how it is. Some forbidden droplet, or not forbidden droplet, forbidden dress stuff. So that was kind of missed that deck. This was really pretty deck. Some I guess Gold Series stuff here. Some regular Foolish Burials. Nothing too valuable, I guess. Lots of Mind Control, lots of Dark Host, some Terraforming, Prohibitions. I didn't even know I had another set of preps. A Mystic Mine. Some Dark Eruptions. Dark Eruptions was used to be used in Black Wings, and that was kind of a cool tech card back then. In this red box here, I have just some extra trap cards I'm not using. Kind of show that off here. It's got, trap tricks, trap. White Hallow, I use this for my Necros deck. Kind of cool tech card. You control a water monster. You can banish a spell card from your opponent's graveyard, and it's kind of like a mini Imperial Order or a mini spellcaster village. But yeah, I have a Schism in here. Some Poison match. There can only be ones. Anti spells here. Some more, and just a lot of like staple, I guess, traps. These were pretty hot back then when dragon rulers were a thing. You had to play this, otherwise you'll lose the dragon rulers. Lose one turn used to be a pretty fun card, kind of like a mini skill drain. But I don't think it's plays anymore. This I don't have my CP Phoenix Wing Blasters anymore. I used to have CP Phoenix Wing Blasters. I actually had a lot of CP stuff, from back when I used to play in high school. I had CP Lone Fire, CP Luminas, CP Bestiaries, you name it, I had it. But I sold those for pretty cheap. Now they're worth so much money. Like CP Gravekeeper, back then you could buy them for like $40. Now they're like $400. Same thing like CP Book of Moons and CP Balmless. I never had Book of Moon and Balmless. I think they were too pricey back then. But I had a lot of CP stuff, a couple of TU stuff, TP stuff. If you're old enough to remember that, tournament pack and champion packs back then were really valuable, and they still are pretty valuable. But yeah, I don't have any of that stuff anymore. I used to have a sort of a put together GOAT format deck, but I sold that, and so I don't really have my GOAT format deck anymore. I don't know why I have so many chain holes. I think these were just from like judge packs or something that I got. Same thing with crackdowns. I have so many crackdowns. Dark Lord stuff. I was gonna build a Dark Lord deck, but I never got around to finishing building the Dark Lord deck. So I just kind of relegate them to my collection now and not use them anymore. Some original Ring IOC, Ring of Destructions. These were pretty cool back then. Back when Evo Swarms were a thing, or you could use this with Teller Knights. Kind of cool tech card back then. Were kind of expensive. Some old, is it Labyrinth of Nightmare? Torrential Tributes, not first ed though, unfortunately, but Phoenix Chain were AP Astral Pack Phoenix Chains here. Those were pretty cool. I used to use them for Teller Knights, and you just bounce them back, use them again, stuff like that. Some Mirror Forces, some MRD Mirror Forces, I think, yeah. So I got MRD Mirror Forces, but these are not first eds. I don't think they're really worth anything nowadays. And some reprints of the Dimensional Prison. Dimensional Prison was such a game-breaking card back then, especially when the game came out. The prisons were more expensive than the game that they came in. I think it was Championship 2008 or 9. But they were pretty cool. They obviously don't see any play anymore, but yeah, Safe Zone. Yeah, this and Orpheon was the play back then. That's how you lock your opponent out of playing the game. So I have a lot of cards from that era still. So that's it for most of the I guess cards that are generic. And here's some stuff that I collected that I haven't really got around to building any decks out of them, I think. So I have like a core of like a Witchcrafter. I think I was gonna make a Witchcrafter deck, but kind of forgot I even had this. Some Witchcrafter stuff. And then I think I had Evil Eyes in here. I think they came out like the Mega Pack 2020, I think. And I picked them up thinking I was gonna make a deck. I think Evil Eye Shaddolls were a thing like that you could do, because they kind of synergize with each other. But I never got around to building anything with the Evil Eyes. But it was a cool deck. But yeah, unfortunately, I didn't really build anything out of that. This is some from stuff I used to play when I had counter fairies. So it's sort of a counter fairy core of a deck here. I am just not built playing the deck, so I have a you know some counter fairy stuff here. Rip these. These are banned now. Air Shoff, Guiding Knights. I really wish I could buy the ultimate. I think it's ultimate bountifuls. These ones are super or CP bountifuls, but they're pretty pricey. Um, Never got around to buying those, but now they're kind of out of my price range. Well, I guess I could technically buy them and afford them, but I really don't want to pay that much for those cards. And I think here is my old Blackwing deck that I still kept, that I haven't really touched in years, back from 2010. Some of these cards are newer. They're definitely not like the original Black Wings cards that I used to play with. Because I had like the German Kalutes, because German Kalutes were the only hollow ones back then. German Super Kalutes, they're from the Advent calendars, I think. And like the original Gales were rares. They were one of the most expensive rares. So these are just reprints, but I still have the core. I think some of the cores, Blackwing, like these are like current modern reprints of the Allure of Darknesses. I actually have TU Whirlwinds, but yeah, unfortunately, this deck, you know, hasn't seen the light of day in a long time. So I bought some like recent modern stuff to try to build a Blackwing deck, because it's one of my favorite decks. It's a deck that took me to YCSs. I topped YCSs with Black Wings. I've topped many regionals with Black Wings during like even Dragon Ruler format and stuff like that. Like I was really good at playing Black Wings back then. But yeah, it was a grindy, good kind of control deck. So yeah, I topped quite a few of those with my Black Wing deck, and so I kind of keep around as memorabilia from the days I used to hardcore play Yu-Gi-Oh. But nowadays it's just kind of just a pastime game for me. I don't really play really hard or like super competitive. I just don't have the time anymore or the energy to do so and keep up with the meta. But yeah, so here's some. Oh, I guess I'll shove this in here now. Just some Phantom Knight stuff I was gonna pick up to build. I wasn't too sure where I was gonna go with this deck, so I kind of just have the core here. Into Trap Tricks, I have a huge collection of Trap Trick cards. This might be kind of cool. I have like a play set of all the Trap Tricks stuff. Yeah, AP Trap Tricks. This is what I used to play with my hat deck here. Some of the modern Trap Trick stuff. Some of the Gold Series Trap Tricks. Dianea. I love this Dianea Marmello. Used to be the best combo back then. I don't know where she's from. Forget. This is not Trap Tricks, but it's a plant. So Sarah's, I know. I picked these up for really cheap, like $5, under $5 back then. But she needs a reprint. But yeah, I know she's pretty expensive now. If you were to try to play Trap Tricks, you do need her. Unfortunately I only have two. Never thought I would need more than two, but yeah. I think I have a couple of different Rafflesias. Pretty good Trap Tricks card here. And a couple of the new modern Trap Tricks. I don't know how to pronounce her name, but yeah. Some trap cards. So these were like from the original Gold Series too. I'm sure the corner's all weaked and bent up by now. And then, yep, and just some additional, I guess, gold lettering Trap Trick stuff I have there. So yeah, so that's Trap Tricks, and I guess Phantom Knights. Decks I never got to really building. And then I guess the final part of my collections are the actual 3 decks I still have and I still maintain to play. And I'll show them off in the actual video detailing them. But this is what I currently have here. So this is just my Necros deck. I showed it off fairly recently. I'm still waiting for some cards to come in to kind of finish off the deck here. So yeah, they're fully built. I'll do I guess a deck profile on this thing a little bit later. I kind of recently did one, but I did update the deck since then. Been test playing it. Um, it's a difficult deck to pilot. It's probably the one that I have the most difficult time kind of winning with. I mean, Necros in general are kind of underpowered in ways in this particular format. Um, yeah. And here's my most recent version of my Invoke deck that I've am going to do a deck profile on. Yeah, I have playsets of the Dogmatica stuff. Nothing too expensive, I would say. The most expensive card being probably Red Eyes in here, honestly. Yeah. So, yeah, my three main decks are going to be Invoked, Necros, and the final deck here is going to be my Blue Eyes deck. I also played Blue Eyes quite a lot back in 2017 when I think it's 2017 when Alternative first came out. Um, my favorite pet deck here, and it used to be D-Links. It's kind of not as D-Linky as before, but I'll do a deck profile on this thing later. I'm still test playing it and messing around with some of the cards here, but figure I might as well show it off a little bit. I'll talk about the deck a little bit later, do a proper deck profile on this thing when I get some of the cards in. Um, yeah, the extra deck is missing some stuff. Like this is not supposed to be. This is just a proxy right now for Baroness and stuff like that. Um, yeah, and I'll talk about this deck a bit later. But yeah, so there you go. So that's the majority of my Yu-Gi-Oh collection. Um, like I said, my blue binder's got some stuff in it that I've kind of already shown off. I have a couple of boxes of 3K or 5K boxes of just common cards I don't use anymore. And yeah, I don't really build decks as much anymore and stuff like that. I've been been mostly playing Magic, I guess, honestly, over Yu-Gi-Oh, just because Magic is a little bit of a slower format. You can actually kind of play control. I enjoy it a little bit more of a slow format where I can play control. Um, Yu-Gi-Oh is a little bit kind of hard. You'll mostly play combo. You kind of set up your board, pray your opponent doesn't interrupt you, and if they do, you kind of lose, or if they don't, then they lose. So it's kind of a weird rock paper and scissor format with Yu-Gi-Oh. Like a lot of people say, with Duel Masters, they kind of nostalgic. They kind of wish Yu-Gi-Oh was a little bit slower. Um, I don't think it can ever go back to the old glory days of you trading 1-for-1s, playing cards like Smashing Grounds and coming out on top. I don't think it's ever gonna be like that nostalgic anymore. I think Yu-Gi-Oh nowadays is gonna definitely be a game that's fast-paced, based on combos, and it's gonna kind of feel like a best of one game because if you go first, you win game one. You're most likely to win game three, or even you're just gonna be that much ahead. So while I still enjoy the game, it's got some issues that I don't think are gonna be resolved within the next couple of sets. The new sets are always gonna power crep the old one. Each set's gonna be like meta defining. At least with like Magic, when they release new sets, unless you're playing standard, the older formats like the vintage formats, um, the like legacy and modern formats, stuff like that, their meta doesn't really change. It doesn't get warped by the new sets for the most part. Um, Modern, if they release like specific sets for those formats, then yes, it does warp the format. But for Yu-Gi-Oh, every time they release a new set, it just kind of warps the format. You gotta get the newest cards. I tend to not try to keep up with the newest stuff. I just, since Yu-Gi-Oh is more or less a eternal format, I kind of just play eternal decks that I've enjoyed throughout the years, and those are the three main decks I play now. Yeah, they're not super competitive or great, but I enjoy playing them. So that's why I keep up and maintain in terms of Yu-Gi-Oh. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy. I don't think there's much else to show off. I'm adding more cards to my binder. I bought some new cards, and I'll update the binder when I get around to adding those cards to the binder. But for now, that's it. I'll see you guys next time.